Hello everyone, welcome back to the Dietitian Academy. Myself Mohammad Shoaib. I have cracked AIIMS RRB Dietitian exam with All India 4th rank and also I have cracked RRB Dietitian exam and right now I'm working under a government sector. So this time I am starting preparation series for upcoming government dietitian exams. In this series, the syllabus regarding dietitian exams will be covered in detail from exam point of view and the less important topics will be explained briefly, just enough for you to recall and revise quickly. So as you can see here, these are the topics will be covered in this preparation series. The first topic will be introduction to the human biology and body function and nutrients role significance, understanding nutrition, basic diet for normal conditions and RDA levels, and advanced nutrition, introduction to nutraceuticals, introduction to special condition and diet therapy, recommended approaches to diet diseases and nutrition biochemistry, research methodology and statistics, medical nutrition management, introduction to clinical nutrition, food microbiology, pathophysiology and metabolism in diseases, public health nutrition, and pediatric and geriatric nutrition, food allergies and diet management. These are the topics will be covered in this preparation series. In today's video, we will be discussing the introduction to human biology and body functions topic. There will be multiple videos coming out regarding this each topic and we'll go through most important topics in detail so that we can cover maximum amount of syllabus according to exam point of view. So let's get into the video. So in today's session, we'll be discussing regarding cell and tissues. I know it's very basic concept, but lot of questions will be forming from this topic and in exam the AIIMS or RRB will ask tricky questions. They will not ask difficult questions, but they ask the tricky questions where even though if you know the topic, you will do wrong answer. So in this preparation series, I will be going to teach you how to identify the question and how to attempt the question based on the pattern which the AIIMS or RRB or DSSSB, any other kind of dietitian exams will be asking. So we'll discuss in detail based on the exam point of view. Let's get into the video. Yeah. So we'll first start with cell and its organelles. As you know, cell is a basic unit of life. Okay. The whole body is made up of cells. First understand the hierarchy of the cells. So cells, a group of cells forms tissues. A group of tissues forms organs and group of organs form organ system and this group of organ system forms organism. Okay, this is very basic concept. You know this well and good. So today we will discussing about the cell and tissues in detail. So very basic, cell is a functional and basic unit of life. In this cell we have multiple organelles. These organelles are the functional units of the cells. So we'll go in detail regarding these cells, organelles. First we'll be discussing about the cell membrane. Cell membrane is the outermost layer of the cell where it permits some substances or nutrients and it will inhibit some amount of nutrients to pass by. So this is the work of the cell membranes. It will allow some amount of substances to pass in, some amount of substance will be inhibited to enter. Okay, this is the work of cell membrane. And this cell membrane is made up of phospholipid bilayer. Always remember, this cell membrane is made up of phospholipid bilayer. This is a very important point. You have to remember this. Cell membrane is made up of phospholipid bilayer. It is made up of lipids. Here you will get one phosphate group and two fatty acids. Okay, I have mentioned here, you can see here, there will be one phosphate group and two fatty acids Together it makes phospholipid bilayer. Okay, this is very important. This is the main point you have to remember when it comes to cell membrane. Apart from that, everything is very basic. So here you have to remember phospholipid bilayer. Okay, then we'll discuss about the nucleus. So nucleus is a control center of the cell. Okay, and it carries DNA, genetic material. Okay, and this nucleus is very important in the cell growth, metabolism and reproduction. Okay, remember this. This nucleus is very important in growth, metabolism and reproduction. It carries genetic material, and the information stored in DNA is transcribed into mRNA, which is messenger RNA, which is then transported to cytoplasm to direct protein synthesis. So it will the DNA is stored in the form of mRNA, which is messenger RNA. Then later the mRNA will be transferred from the cytoplasm to direct protein synthesis. So that's how the genetic material will be transported. And here you have to remember is nucleus is a control center of the cell. Okay, and it carries DNA, genetic material, and this nucleus is covered by nuclear envelope. Okay, these are the main points you have to remember when it comes to nucleus topic. Okay, very important. And you can remember these chromatins also. Okay, I have detailedly mentioned in these notes, and if you want these notes you can contact to this number. The number will be popping up here. You can just put a message to that number. In this you will be getting the notes, and you will be getting more than 5000 MCQs, which is purely based on exam point of view for the practice, and you will be getting this 5000 MCQs through that subscription. Of course there is some subscription you have to take. Once the subscription is taken out, you will get the notes. You will get 5000 MCQs in the drive, and you will also will be getting past year, previous year question papers also. Okay, you will be getting previous year question papers like RRB, AIIMS and DSSSB, other kind of question papers will be uploaded in the drive, and this validity will be 1 year until the next AIIMS and RRB dietitian exam will be announced. Okay, until then the notes will be valid, and these notes is handwritten by me based on my experience regarding this AIIMS and RRB dietitian exam, and I have included every detail here. And if I find some kind of information to be added, I will be updating through the drive itself. So everything will be up to date, updated in that drive. So you can avail this subscription by messaging to this number, and you will be getting the further details from our team. So let's continue the video. So next we have very most common but important organelle, that is mitochondria. So mitochondria is very basic. Okay, it is a powerhouse of the cell. Okay, it is a powerhouse of the cell, and here in this mitochondria the ATP will be producing. ATP is in the sense energy. Okay, where the energy production will be happening, and this ATP is formed through cellular respiration. Okay, you have to remember this, cellular respiration. Okay, and it has double membrane and their own genomes, indicating an evolutionary past with the prokaryotic. I'll explain regarding this prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells in later part. But right now you have to remember in the mitochondria, that is, it is a powerhouse of the cell and it produces ATP through cellular respiration. Okay, this is a very important part. And one more, I have put it in a bracket. Mitochondria are also involved in storing of calcium, okay, and generating heat and mediating cell growth and death. This is very important point you have to remember. Mitochondria involves in storing of calcium. Here the question may or will form in the exam. So mitochondria stores some amount of calcium also, and it will regulate the it will generate the heat also. Okay, remember this, very important. And the Krebs cycle will be happening in the mitochondria. Remember this Krebs cycle and beta oxidation will be happening in the mitochondria. These are the very important point. You have to remember this because a lot of questions will be forming from this same mitochondria. Then I have mentioned here, you can go through it once. It is double membrane with the inner fold and produce ATP via cellular respiration, high energy cells. And this is one more point we have to remember. The mitochondria are very abundant in muscle and liver. Okay, these two parts, it has very high density or high amount of mitochondria will be present in that particular region. Okay, where the more energy production will be happening through that. Then we'll discuss about the ribosomes. See, ribosomes, in the ribosome you have to remember that ribosomes are the site for protein synthesis. Okay, ribosomes are the site for the protein synthesis, and these ribosomes are present upon the endoplasmic reticulum. So it is called as rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, rough endoplasmic reticulum contains ribosomes. These ribosomes helps in protein synthesis through translation of mRNA. Okay, essential for enzyme hormone production like insulin, etc. And this is present on rough endoplasmic reticulum. So what is the difference between rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum? There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum mainly, and rough endoplasmic reticulum contains ribosomes, okay, where the protein synthesis will be happening, and the smooth endoplasmic reticulum helps in lipid synthesis. So very important. Remember, rough endoplasmic reticulum, so I'll write it here, rough ER helps in protein synthesis, but smooth ER like endoplasmic reticulum helps in lipid synthesis. Very important. Remember this kind of questions will be asked in the upcoming exams. Okay, rough endoplasmic reticulum helps in protein synthesis, smooth endoplasmic reticulum helps in lipid synthesis. I have mentioned here very detailedly. Okay, as you can see, rough endoplasmic reticulum with ribosome synthesis and modifies protein. It also plays a role in detecting problems in protein synthesis and folding, and triggers apotheosis if the problem are irreplaceable. So what is apotheosis? See, apotheosis is nothing but, and we have smooth endoplasmic reticulum. This smooth endoplasmic reticulum synthesis lipids including cholesterol, phospholipids and steroid hormones production in liver cells. Okay, it helps in detoxification, and in muscle cells a specialized form called sarcoplasmic reticulum regulates calcium ions and concentration. So in rough endoplasmic reticulum you have to remember protein synthesis and also apotheosis. Okay, and in smooth endoplasmic reticulum you have to remember lipid synthesis and also detoxification and muscle cell, and sarcoplasmic reticulum helps in regulation of calcium ion concentration in the muscles. So these are the major points you have to remember. I have clearly mentioned here by separating it. As you can see, smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum, they have the changes. They have no ribosomes and makes and stores lipids and steroids. And in rough endoplasmic reticulum contains ribosomes and makes and store the protein, and the both works at the same thing, that is called make a cellular material. This both works the same process, which is making a cellular materials. That's all. So this is regarding the endoplasmic reticulum. Then we'll go for the Golgi apparatus. In Golgi apparatus, you have to remember the only main point is this is the packaging site. Okay, for proteins. Very important. It packs the proteins, and these proteins will be carried out and send it to a particular destination for the further processing. So that is the work of Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus is nothing but is a packaging site. It packs the protein and secrete it to a particular location. So it is a work of Golgi apparatus. So I have explained here. It is also called stacked membrane sac. Why? Because the structure is like a saggy structure. So it is called as the stacked membrane sac. And next, it modifies salts and packaged protein for secretion. So this is the only work of a Golgi apparatus. So here we have to remember, it will pack protein for the secretion, and here it will pack the lipids also. Okay, but majorly it will be for protein itself. So major questions will be forming through the protein itself. So as you can see here, these organelle process and package fruits, proteins and lipids into vesicles for delivery to specific destination. It modifies proteins and lipids and directs them to a cell membrane like lysosomes or secretory vesicles. So this is the only thing. This is a work of Golgi apparatus. It just packs and send it to a particular destination. That's all. Then we have lysosomes. So lysosomes also very important topic. It acts as a suicidal cells, suicidal bags. Okay, you can consider as suicidal bag of the cell. Why we call it as suicidal bag? In the sense, it will digest the foreign particles or microorganisms or pathogens inside the cell. It works as a digestive system for the cell. So as you can see here, the digestive system works as a digestive system, breaks down waste pathogens or acidic enzymes. How it will digest the waste products or pathogens? Suppose this is a lysosome and there is one foreign particle or pathogen presence in the cell. So these lysosomes will engulf it through the process called phagocytosis. Okay, these cells slowly it engulf inside it and it will digest it. Okay, this is a process of phagocytosis. It performs phagocytosis where the harmful cell will be taken inside and get digested. So this is the work of lysosome. So it's called as suicidal bags of the cell. It will digest the foreign particle or microorganisms present in the cell. This is the work of the lysosomes. So as you can see here, this lysosome contains hydrolytic enzymes that digest macromolecules, old cell parts and microorganisms. They break down nucleic acids, proteins, polysaccharides. Lysosomes are involved in endocytosis, autophagocytosis and phagocytosis. The same thing, and it will engulf and digest the particular molecule. This is the work of lysosomes. Okay, you have to remember. And the lysosomes has the hydrolytic enzymes. These enzymes helps to digest. Okay, very important. This helps to digest the molecules, whether it may be microorganisms, whether it may be polysaccharide or any other cell structure or cell part. Okay, then we have cytoskeleton. This cytoskeleton work is to give a structure for the cell. That's all. It is not very important. So, okay, it gives a shape to the cell. And we have microtubules. It separates the chromosomes. In mitotic, it is a celiac and or flagella structured part in the cell. And we have peroxisome. It functions in fatty acid synthesis like beta oxidation. And we have centrosomes. These centrosomes contains centrioles, 9 triplet microtubules organized in the mitotic splendid. Okay, absent in plant cells. This is not important, but I have just kept it so that you can cover this also. This is not very important. Okay, then we'll discuss regarding the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. It's very basic. Most of you will know this concept. It's nothing but a unicellular organism or multicellular organisms. In prokaryotic cell, okay, it is unicellular organism, and eukaryotic cells are multicellular organisms. In the sense, this here prokaryotic cells, there is only one cell which performs all activities, all physiological functions in the prokaryotic organisms. But in eukaryotic cells, we have multiple cells. These multiple cells performs and makes a tissue. This tissue perform a particular function, and the other tissue will perform other particular function. This is the concept in eukaryotic cells. In prokaryotic cells, there is no organelles like mitochondria, like cell membrane, like Golgi apparatus, lysosomes. There will be no cell organelles present in the prokaryotic cell. But in eukaryotic cells, there are mitochondria, there are cell membrane, there will be lysosomes, other part of the cell organelles will be present in eukaryotic cells. So these are the difference. As you can see here, in prokaryotic cell, there is absent of DNA and there is no membrane, no bond organelles. It is very smaller. Okay, and here there will be cell wall which is made up of peptidoglycan. Okay, and the cell structure will be circular DNA plus plasmid, and the reproduction will be through asexual binary fusion. What is asexual binary fusion? So it's nothing but, suppose this is the organism, this is the mother cell. Okay, this mother cell slowly divides itself into two daughter cells. Okay, then these two daughter cells works as a separate. This is how the binary fusion will be taking now. This small part, okay, from here it will be transferred here, like it will grow into full-fledged mother cell. Okay, this is called binary fusion. That's how it will reproduce itself. But in eukaryotic cells, the reproduction will be through sexually or asexually. Okay, mitosis or meiosis. And the ribosomes contains in the prokaryotic are 70s. Okay, and in eukaryotic there will be 80s, but 70s will be in the mitochondria and chloroplast. Remember, this is very important. These kind of questions may be or will be asked in the upcoming exam. So remember this, very important. And example for the prokaryotic cells are E. coli, Streptococcus, bacteria. And in the prokaryotic, obviously human cells, amoeba, etc. So these are the difference between eukaryotic and prokaryotic. And in eukaryotic, the cell wall is present in plants in the form of cellulose, fungi, chitin, but absent in animals. So remember this, there will be no cell wall in the animals, but apart from that, there will be cell wall in the plants and fungi. Okay, these are difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Here there will be a lot of questions maybe forming in the future, because here there is a very confusing topic and very important topic also. So they will ask the tricky question, and if they ask the question regarding this topic, they may ask binary fusion is taken place in which cell. They will give the option prokaryotic, eukaryotic, or both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So like that they will give some confusion questions where if you don't know the concept, then you will do wrong answer. So I hope until here it's clear. Then we'll go to the cell organization in multicellular organism. This I have just explained in the start of the video. The same thing, group of cells forms tissues, and group of tissues form organs, group of organs form organ systems, and group of organ system forms full-fledged organism. So this is the structure of the cell hierarchy. Okay, then later we'll discuss about the tissues, type of tissues. So there are majorly 4 types of tissues. First one is epithelial tissue, the second one is connective tissue, the third one is muscular tissue, the fourth one nervous tissue. Okay, these are the 4 major tissues are present in the human body. Here there are multiple types of tissues in each segment. In epithelial tissues, we have squamous epithelial, cuboidal, columnar, pseudostratified, stratified. And in connective tissue, we have fibroblast, we have bone, blood, everything. And muscles, we have smooth muscles, striated muscles, and cardiac muscles. In nervous system, we have neurons. Okay, we'll discuss each one in detail. So first we'll discuss about the epithelial tissue. What is epithelial tissue? Epithelial itself is a layer, topmost layer of the body. Maybe the skin, maybe the walls of the organs, okay, walls of the intestines. So the topmost layer is called epithelial tissue. These epithelial tissues are divided into multiple segments, which is simple squamous epithelium. What is the simple squamous epithelium? The simple squamous epithelium is nothing but the structure of the tissue is singular. There is only single layer of the cells. That is called simple squamous epithelium. Only single layer is present. As you can see here, you can see here, the simple squamous epithelial is nothing but single layered cell. And here we have simple cuboidal epithelial also. Cuboidal in the sense, here the cell will be in the cube shape. Simple cuboidal epithelial is nothing but the structure of the tissues will be cube shape. So it is called simple cuboidal epithelial. And then we have simple columnar epithelium also. The cell structure will be long, like column shaped. So it will be like this. Okay. So this is the simple columnar epithelial tissues. So these are the 3 segments in the simple squamous epithelial segments. Okay. Remember, when it is the word simple squamous epithelium, then you have to remember a single layered tissue. That's all. Okay. These are present in kidneys, intestines, the walls of intestines, mucus secreting glands, etc. Will be where this type of tissue will be mostly present. Okay, I hope this is clear. Then we have stratified squamous epithelium. What is stratified squamous epithelium? The stratified in the sense the multiple layer. So the same thing which I have explained in the simple squamous epithelium, we have stratified squamous epithelium, where there will be the layers will be multiple layers. So here the simple stratified squamous epithelium, so there will be lot of layers upon the cells, nothing but there is a stratified epithelial tissue. And here we have stratified cuboidal epithelial also. Cuboidal in the sense itself, it has the shape of the cell will be in the cube shape. Okay, multi-layered but cube shape. It's called stratified cuboidal epithelial. Then we have stratified columnar epithelial. We have the tissues like a column size, like big one, the same thing, but multi-layered. Okay, multiple layer will be there in the stratified columnar epithelium. These are different. Simple in the sense one layer, stratified in the sense multiple layers. Okay, and it's clear. Then we have transitional tissues. What is transitional? Transitional is nothing but the tissue can be stretched, and if we leave it, it will come back to the normal size. Elastic tissues, like elasticity will be there. You can pull the tissue and release it, it will come back to the normal size. For example, the skin. This skin, we can pull the skin, okay, then if you leave it, it will come back to the normal size. So it is called transitional epithelium. Usually it is seen in the urinary bladder, because the urinary bladder will stretch when there is a urine, and it will shrink back again when the urine get pass out. That's a transitional epithelium tissue. Then we have pseudo stratified epithelium. What is pseudo stratified epithelium? Pseudo in the sense it will mimic the structure of stratified cells. Stratified in the cells, they have multiple layer, but here it is mimicking that multiple layer, but actually it is a single layer cell. Suppose this is a pseudo stratified layer. Here the cell is single itself. Okay, it is single layer cell, but the way that is represented, it looks like a stratified cell, because the structure will be irregular. Okay, irregular will be shaped. So as you can see here, you can see this, right? So this is the pseudo stratified epithelial tissue. Mostly it will be present in trachea, reproductive ducts, etc. Okay, it will mimic the stratified nature, but it is not a multi-layer cell, multi-layer tissue, but it is single layer tissue. So this is the regarding epithelial tissue. I have cleared the epithelial tissue concept. Here the questions will be forming like which tissue is present on the layer of the kidney or layer of the intestines. So then you have to go for the epithelial tissue. And which tissue is present in the digestive tract, then you can go for the cuboidal epithelial or columnar epithelial. It depends upon the option that they are provide. And if they ask which tissue is present in urinary bladder, then you can go for the transitional epithelium, where you can stretch and come back to the normal size. And regarding this also, where will be the pseudo stratified epithelial will be present, you can go for the reproductive tract or trachea, etc. Okay, these will be very difficult question, but this kind of questions may be or will be asked. Okay, remember this is very important. Okay, then we have very in detail topic, that is connective tissue. What is connective tissue? Connective tissue is majorly of bone, blood. Okay, this is called connective tissue, where it connects multiple organs, multiple tissues. Okay, it's a wide variety. So here you have to remember, this is derived from mesenchyme cell, mesenchyme, which is embryonic connective tissues. Okay, here you have to remember, it is not closely packed like epithelium tissue, but it has large amount of intracellular matrix like ground substance plus fibers. Okay, it's fluid filled, right? Because there is a blood also. Blood is also a connective tissue. So you have to remember. Okay, then highly vascular except cartilage. There is highly vascular. Vascular in the sense there will be a lot of blood vessels when there is a connective tissue. But in cartilage tissue, we don't have any kind of blood vessels. Like, so it is called as avascular connective tissue. So always remember, cartilage is avascular connective tissue. Whenever if the cartilage is damaged, it will take a lot of time to recover, because as we don't have the blood vessels there, because the nutrients will be available very less, so the recovery will be not that fast compared to other part of the body. There will be types of connective cells, that is fibroblast cell, most abundant in secrete collagen and ground substance. Then we have macrophages, which perform phagocytosis, helps in immune defense. Then we have mast cell. Mast cell release histamines, heparin, allergic inflammation reaction, as I have explained in my past marathon series also. This mast cell release histamines. These histamines are the reason for the allergic reaction. Whenever there is a particular allergen enters in the body release abnormal histamines. This abnormal histamine contracts the trachea, and it will start releasing lot of mucus from the nose, or other kind of reactions will be happening through these histamines. Regarding these histamines and allergic reaction, I will be discussing in my later parts of the video, because this is not the topic, this is not the unit for this. So let's wait for the other video where I will be going in detail regarding the allergic reaction, mast cells, what is B cells, what is T cells, and how actually the allergic happens. Everything will be in detail in the later part of the video. You have to remember is mast cells also a connective tissue where it releases histamines, heparin, which will cause the allergic and inflammation. And we have plasma cells, produce antibiotics. We have adipocytes, which stores fat, and we have chondrocytes, which is a cartilage cell, and we have osteocyte, which is bone cell. We have erythrocytes, leukocytes, platelets present in the blood. These are the types of connective tissue cells. So you have to remember here. Then we have fibers. There are types of fibers also. This is collagen fiber, elastic fiber, reticular fiber. Always remember, this collagen fiber is formed in the presence of vitamin C. Vitamin C plays a major role in collagen synthesis. Okay, always remember, vitamin C is very important. The collagen fiber is very important because it will hold the tendons, ligaments in place with that collagen. Okay, it will maintain the structural integrity. Then we have elastic fiber, which is stress and recoil in arteries, present in arteries, lungs, skin, etc. Then we have reticular fiber, supports framework in spine, lymph node, liver, etc. Then we have ground fluid, ground substance. What is ground substance? It acts as a lubricant for the joints, other part of the organs. So amorphous gel-like substances composed of glycosaminoglucans, proteoglucans, glycoproteins, water, provides medium for exchange between blood and cell. And there are four type of classification for the connective tissue, and there are some type of classification for the connective tissue, which is embryonic connective tissue and connective tissue proper. In embryonic, connective tissue is made up of mesenchyme cells, precursor for all connective tissue. Then mucous connective tissue, example umbilical cord. You can remember this umbilical cord. It is a connective tissue made up of mesenchyme, mucous connective tissue, where it connects the mother to the baby. Okay, it is called umbilical cord. Okay, then we have tissue, connective tissue proper. Here we have loose connective tissue and dense connective tissue. In loose connective tissue, there are types of loose connective tissue also. There will be areolar tissue and adipose tissue. This areolar tissue helps in packaging, support, and widely distributed in the body. And we have adipose tissue is majorly function of storing of fat. So major function is storing of fat, and helps in insulation also. It will maintain the temperature also. So it will act as a energy reserve for the future use if there is energy deficit in the body. And we have reticular tissue, which helps in framework for lymphoid organs. Then it comes to dense connective tissue. What is dense connective tissue? In the word itself, it's dense, so it is strong. So there will be dense regular, dense irregular, and elastic. In dense regular, we have parallel collagen fiber, example like tendon, ligaments, etc. Then dense irregular, we have irregular collagen, dermis, capsule of the organs. Elastic, rich in elastic fibers, example large arteries, vocal cords, etc. So these are the types of connective tissues. Then we have specialized connective tissue, which is called cartilage. Cartilage is avascular, just I told you, because there will be no blood vessels to that cartilage. So damage to the cartilage leads to improper recovery or slow recovery. Then we have hyaline cartilage, most common in trachea, costal cartilage, etc. We have elastic cartilage present in the ear, epiglottis, etc. We have fibrocartilage, which is present in intravertebral disc, pubic symphysis, etc. Then we have bone. Here also the bone, there are multiple types. We have compact bone, spongy bone. Okay, compact bone in the sense dense and structural. Spongy bones is tubercle, then it is a trabecular marrow spaces. Then we have blood, fluid connective tissue, plasma plus cells, then lymph tissue fluid in lymphatic system. This connective tissue is very important. So many questions can be forming through this process. So remember this. Here you have to remember this connective tissue is nothing but bone, blood, and other kind of cells like fibroblast, which can connect multiple organs to each other. So functions of connective tissue will be support transport, protection, storage, defense, repair, tissue, etc. All kind of functions will be here. You can go through it. It's very easy. Then we have the exam tip. Mentioned exam tip in every topic so that you will get the proper what we call demo, how the questions will be asked. So as you can see here, which connective tissue is avascular? Then we have cartilage. Cartilage is the answer. Then which vitamin is needed for the collagen synthesis? Just I have explained you. Collagen synthesis, vitamin C helps in collagen synthesis. Then we have main cell of areola tissue is fibroblast cell. So like that the questions will be forming in the exams. So be careful and read well. Okay. And if you want these notes, you can message to this number and the further details will be shared there. From this subscription, you can get the notes and you will get 5000 MCQs to practice and previous year question papers. Okay, question papers. And also you will be joining in the group, particularly the dietitian group, where the important announcement will be happening there. So you will get the community there. Okay, if you are interested, you can message to this number and you will access this all notes. Then we have muscle tissue. So muscle tissue, there are majorly three, that is skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, cardiac muscle. In skeletal muscle, you have to remember the muscle fibers are striated. Striated in the sense they are multiple layer. Okay, multiple irregular layers. Skeletal muscles have lot of nucleus, like multi-nucleated. You have a lot of nucleus in the skeletal muscle, and these muscles are voluntary. We can think and we can move the organs. Suppose this is the hand, we have the skeletal muscles here. So I am thinking it and I can move this arm. So it is nothing but voluntary actions. Okay, and we have smooth muscles. Smooth muscles is involuntary. You can't move these muscles because these muscles are mostly present in the digestive system, organs, internal part. So here the structure of the smooth muscle will be simple sickle-like structure, one nucleated, single nucleated, not more than one will be there. So there will be single nucleated, uninucleated, usually covered in walls of organs, system, etc. So this is the regarding smooth muscles. Then we have cardiac muscles. This cardiac muscles is striated. It has multiple layers. Okay, and it is also a uninucleated. Suppose there is a lot of muscle segments, it has single nucleus, like uninucleated structure, and it is only present in the heart. There is no other part of the body where you will get this cardiac muscles. Only heart is the only place where you can find cardiac muscle. Then this is regarding muscle tissue. This is also involuntary. We can't move cardiac muscles, so it will move on its own. It's involuntary. Then we'll go to the neurons. In nervous tissue, we have neurons. These neurons helps to transmit the signals from outside to the CNS or from the CNS to the particular organs. For example, if you thought something, the signals will be coming from the CNS through the dendroids, and these dendroids carry the signals to the axon terminal and pass it to a particular location or site where the activity will be performed. And the same way happens when you touch something, when you do something, and the signal same passes to dendroids and again it will go to the CNS. Okay, like afferent and efferent. What is afferent and efferent? Here it is very important to know that. First, remember what is synapses. Synapses is nothing but junction where neurotransmitter relay signals to each other cells. So remember what is synapses. Synapses is a junction where the neurotransmitters relay signals to another cells. Look, there will be intracoagulated. I mean, there will be connected everywhere. And when it comes to sensory and motor skills, first we'll think what is sensory. Sensory is nothing but afferent. What is afferent? It carries signals to the CNS. Suppose there is some hot object, I have touched the object, the heat transmitted to my hand and I suddenly let go of my hand. This signal will be going from my hand to the CNS. So it is called afferent. Afferent in the sense the signal will be passed from the external source to the CNS. So from hand to the CNS is called afferent. It is called sensory. I can sense it. The senses are passing through my hand and to the CNS. So it's called sensory afferent. It's called afferent. And what is called efferent? Efferent is nothing but the signal will be passing from CNS to the particular organ or particular body part. So from the CNS to the particular organ. Okay, it is called efferent. Very important. Remember that. So for example, if I want to walk now, the CNS will send the signals or command to the body where I can use my legs to walk it out. The same thing, the decision making, everything will be from CNS to the other part of the body is called efferent. So it is motor neuron. Motor neurons in the sense I can do the mobility, I can move voluntarily. So there is nothing but motor cells, motor efferent signals. So as you can see here, carry signals from CNS to the muscles or glands. Okay. Then we have intraneurons, which is connect neurons within the CNS, interconnected neurons in the CNS itself. So these are regarding neurons. So here you have to remember is, you can see here, axon transmits impulses covered by myelin sheath, Schwann cells in PNS and oligodendroids in CNS. Remember this, Schwann cells are present in PNS, peripheral nervous system. Then oligodendroids are present in central nervous system. So as you can see here, the Schwann cells, it will send signals to PNS, and oligodendroids will send the signals to CNS. Simple. So here you have to remember that. And structure, cell body is called soma, contain nuclei and receive signals, function. And you have to know what is synapses. What is synapses? Is a junction where neurotransmitter relays signals to another cell. And here you have to remember what is sensory neuron, motor neuron and intraneurons. It is very, very important. This much is enough to get to know about the neurons. After this neuron, we'll be discussing about the nervous system in detail. So nervous system, as you can see here, it's very, very detailed and very, very important questions, because every year AIIMS has asked questions from nervous system, and RRB has also asked questions from nervous system. DSSSB also asked questions from the nervous system. Very, very important. So from these 3 papers, I have accumulated the knowledge and I have placed it in these notes. Okay, here we'll go through in detail regarding the nervous system, and this nervous system topic will be discussed in my part preparation series, where I will be in detail talking about the nervous system. In part 2, we'll be covering nervous system, thyroid gland, pituitary gland, every gland will be covered in the later part of the sessions. So I hope you like this video. If you have any kind of doubt, you can pin me down in the comment, and if you want the notes, you can contact this number. Further detail will be shared by our team. So until then, prepare well. We'll meet in the next video. Take care. Bye.